Okay, moving on to PC gaming, like properly this time. And boy, have I got a long video today. Football management games. So this all started with a little game called Ultimate Soccer Manager 2. This was based on the 1996-97 season. This is Now this was the season when Saints signed Klaas Lundgren, then Ostenstad, Van Hobel, and Berkovic that season. They are not in that game though, or at least not playing for Southampton at that point. It's a pretty limited squad, but yeah, that game was pretty cool. That game was the first that I ever played that had the 2D match, which you can actually look down on and see what your team's doing. It wasn't a great 2D match. Heading the ball wasn't even a thing. It was just flat. Yeah, and the way they didn't even have positions players. They just if their passing is the highest attribute, then they're midfielders. If their shooting is highest, then they're strikers. If their goalkeeping is highest, they're goalkeepers, and so on and so forth. Yeah, but yeah, it was still a really good fun game. It's quite basic, but one thing that definitely stood out about it was the was the sound effects and voice acting, and there's a hilarious chairman, this Yorkshire chairman who says things like, "I trust you have plans to get us further up the league," but like full Yorkshire, and it's pretty damn funny. Yeah, that was the first football management game that I ever owned. Then of course I had to play some PlayStation equivalents. Then of course the big one, Championship Manager. I bought the first game, the 2001 version. Not the first game. My first game was the 2001 version. I didn't really give it enough of a chance. I think up the 2002 version, I gave that a full chance. I liked it a lot more. But that didn't have a match engine. That was just text based, so you just had to follow the text. So I remember one time, I think Marion Powers was about to score a goal, and then Michael Owen, just in the next phase, Michael Owen had the ball and scored for Liverpool, and never quite got that. So there were problems, but it was still very in depth. It was pretty fun. But then Championship Manager 4 came the next season, based on the 2003 season, and that introduced the 2D match that Ultimate Soccer Manager 2 had and LMA Manager had. Yeah, those two games beat Football Manager, or what was Championship Manager at the time. They beat Sports Interactive, basically, to that. But that feature did change the game series forever. Yeah. But yeah, that was great fun. That series. I often played as Southampton. Wages kept spiraling out of control though. In that they had like ridiculous wage increases. Danny Higginbotham had an insane wage increase every year until you just couldn't sign any more players. But yeah, it was good fun. Then came the next game, 0304, and yeah, that was great. And that was when I was at my highest. But they made Southampton insanely good in that game. Darren Kenton his stats were insane. Danny Higginbotham's stats were pretty insane. They definitely made Klaas Lundgren worse than he was. All of them did. And for some reason they had Jo Tessen as a right midfielder, even though he played most of his career at Southampton as a central midfielder, so that was a bit strange. Yeah, and then of course the big one, 2005, when it became Football Manager. I never played whatever the hell the Championship Manager series was after that, but the Sports Interactive team were the ones who did Football Manager, and it's still going to this day. I mean, 19 years later, we're now looking at 20 years later. We're looking at the 20th anniversary this year, actually, of the takeover. So, yeah, that happened. I remember 2000. The next year's game. They for those who don't know, they do a new game every year. 2006 game. I remember the 2006 game very well. I could always get Saints promoted back first try. Dexter Blackstock would always go on an insane run in the Championship, then couldn't do much in the Premiership. Then came a game every year, basically. Then, due to an illness that I had, I did not get the 2009 version. I didn't have much time to play the 2008 version either. but I got back into the series in 2010, and it was around 2009, 2010 when they started becoming available on Steam. So you didn't even have to have the game disc. You could just do that, but you couldn't sell on the game disc, which was a bit of a problem. That's caused many problems for people. You have to get a separate key as well online if you buy the game secondhand. So that was weird. But yeah, then. But over the years, the tactics developed a lot more. A lot more features came in. And it sort of stayed very similar from 2010 2017. The last Football Manager I got was 2017. Then things moved. Then my life just moved on a bit. After 2017, my life did move on quite a bit. But it's more popular than ever now, actually, and it's got console versions and everything. And I'm considering getting back into it. I'm probably going to start with the iPad Touch version before I get back into the full thing, because I need to slowly work my way back, because I've had like a 7 or 8 year absence of actually owning any of the games, although I played a couple of demos. Yeah, that was, but yeah, a lot of my life was dedicated to Football Manager, trying to get Southampton up leagues. I once got Southampton to third. Did I win any titles? I won the Premier League as Arsenal once. Remember I brought in Berbatov and Dirk Kuyt. And that definitely helped. Sean Wright Phillips and Owen Hargreaves helped that as well. I'm trying to think any other memorable Football Manager saves. I kept Sunderland up in 2017. I came up with the 4-4-1-1 special tactic of my own, where I put Brian Oviedo I put on the left of midfield in a defensive winger role, and I bought a German guy called Dennis Aogo as the complete fullback on the left, and the pair of them together formed the best left-sided partnership I've ever seen. The amount of balls they'd get into Victor and Ichibi was just insane. I stayed up. I kept Sunderland up somehow. Yeah, that was amazing. Another story off the top of my head. I did get Blackburn to fourth once. I took over them, and there was a creative player called Trevor Hackney. He was a striker who could just round the keeper just amazingly every time, and Adam Lallana happened to be in that team as well, and the amount of assists he'd provide was incredible. I mean, that was a team, that Blackburn team. My Saints team to finish third was a good one. I think it was a front pairing of Anthony Knockert and Andy Carroll in an advanced forward role. That got me an insane amount of success. I kept Andy Carroll just fit, and Knocker was just doing so well as a front man back in that game. Yeah, that was amazing. There was another Saints save that I had where I finished a little lower each season, but scored a few more points most seasons as well. There was one season I got to put the 4-4-1-1 into play, but I play 4-4-1-1 with a target man in attacking midfield. I signed Willian Jose to do that for me. He played for Wolves in real life and didn't do very well there, but did amazing for me. And I just had everything working. Jetro Vellums as a complete fullback, Gary Cahill, Jason Denayer, and Joe Gomez, all competing with centre-back, Hoiberg, Thomas Delaney, his countryman, Callum Slattery and Oriel Mayo in the centre, Bernard Traore, Josh Sims, Shane Long, Wilfred Zaha. I just put together Ward Prowse. I put together this amazing team that did really well. Then the injury crisis hit, and that was the last save I ever did. Did I ever? I got England to the semis once, semi of the World Cup, I think. I think any other good Football Manager stories in my time. Andriy Pereplyokhin, he in Football Manager 2004, I think it was. There was another unrealistic one. He was just insane. You'd put him straight into the Saints first team, and he'd score so many goals for that. Olympiacos, I played as them once. Signed David Prutton and Clint Hill to that team, and that did really well. I think I won the title with them. That was good. I tried MLS a few times. A good team of Columbus crew. I had Federico Higuain, Gonzalo's brother. I also, who else did I have in that? I had a really good centre back called Chad Marshall. That was a really, really good save that I had as the Columbus crew, I think it was. Anything else? I did experience the amazingness of Cherno Sambo. He got Millwall promoted for me once. Let's see what else. Yeah, and I think I won the FA Vase or something with Luton once, or one of those lower down trophies. So many Football Manager stories. I might do more detail on this, but I intend to get back into Football Manager though, and I think I'm not going to wait around. I think I'm going to go for the 25 version, 25 Touch on the iPad when it comes out. I'd be interested to see if I can keep United, or get United to play better. See if I can keep Southampton up as well this season, because in real life we've had an absolute shocker. Football Manager. There's just nothing else that's been anywhere near as good. The amount of tactical depth, the amount of the staff hiring, the 3D game. I never really warmed up to the 3D game. I never had the computer that was capable of running it very well. But the fact this place had the stats and the special moves, and the fact you can tutor players, you can sort of improve them. Sort of like in Skyrim, you can enchant weapons. In Football Manager, you can essentially guide players. It's sort of a similar thing. Just so many people are into Football Manager. It's just something that so many people just know. My journey from Football Manager started 2001, and haven't really done much since 2017. So I'll be interested to see how more Football Manager in the future goes, and but that's very much that chapter of my gaming history done. So next time I'll talk a bit about the original Xbox, because that was my next console, and that was a present for me for my GCSE performance. So I was in sixth form when I got the Xbox, the classic Xbox. I'll talk about some of the games that I played with that in the next one, and that won't take very long because it didn't last very long. That thing, it was known for being a bit breakable. That thing, but there were some amazing games in that time, and I can't wait to talk about those. That was Football Manager. Well, maybe I'll have more stories in the future. Thank you for watching.